Run it back.
Oh. Okay. Paul could edit that out.
We call this episode Run It Black.
Oh! Just why? Because we're watching Samuel L. Jackson.
Guys, welcome to another installment of Run It Back.
Run it back.
We are going one by one through all the films of the MCU, and this week,
You're the minority today.
Yeah, Frank.
we're talking about. We're talking.
Get it out! No, get it out, dude.
We're talking about Black Panther. We're going to Wakanda.
What a shot. I'm stunned. Imagine that.
He only has the black guys up for it.
Oh,
Really let you do it?
why are we the guys here doing this one, man?
Bro, looking at him going,
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Can't make this
Hot,
stuff up.
dude.
We can't make this stuff up.
Oh my God.
I know what makes it worse is you're staring at me or he's laughing at me. It's the best. It's the best. Sonny, what are some of your memories of when you saw Black Panther for the first time?
It was a cultural phenomenon at the time. Why are you going short like Paul over there? What's going on, man? What happened, dude? I was like getting like real like deep into my explanation.
sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Then he just
Why is there 9 Trulies on the table? Yeah, no. Wait, where's Paul? Why are we the only ones doing that?
Can you believe this?
No, they got all the black guys together.
So anyway, I thought it was amazing. It was a great movie. No, for real though. I think what it did for the culture, if you will, was just monumental. That character is definitely one of the more popular characters ever. But after Chad, I don't know why I call him Chad. After he played the character, it just took things to a whole nother level.
Sure.
I think
Such dignity.
Oh my
he
God,
portrayed it with such dignity.
it's when we talk about like an actor being meant for a role,
Yeah.
perfect,
Oh,
and then what like an actor could do outside of the movie, and he still was fighting through cancer and kind of showed the I don't know what it is to just be like the hero without the cape, without the suit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even now, I think that's one of the better movies, and even the introduction that we got from him in Civil War was just incredible. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah, that car scene in Korea, I love that.
Incredible, dude.
I love that. I love when any movie really goes into those like Asian exotic countries that and do
like
different
Singapore, like whatever they
Yeah,
shot it.
yeah.
I loved it.
things.
I think without getting like too emotional about it, it really does suck that what we got out of him we won't get anymore. You
Right.
know what I mean? And
Right.
there's tons of movies like we could throw away almost the entire phase that we just got, but like that movie will stand on top of all of them forever,
Right.
dude.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
easily.
getting Wakanda Forever, and just what that movie stood for and what it did, you can't get that back. So I'm even getting kind of emotional talking about it. It's great, man. It's great.
What about you, handsome?
Hey, so
Oh, you want me to talk again? No.
So for me, it was
to Sonny.
I didn't see it in the theater. I waited until it came out and all the fanfare kind of died down, just because typically in Hollywood in cinema, when there's a black protagonist, there's typically a certain angle of storytelling that I do not agree with, that tends to overshadow anything else.
Yeah.
And being firmly against any of this stuff, that perpetuates this notion that we're always forever as a black person, we're always forever the victim, and we're always being oppressed, and all this woe is me stuff I do not agree with. So it kind of made me hesitant to watch it, just because I figured that was probably
That was going to be the little angle they played.
they were going to find some way to kind of work that in, to make that, he's being oppressed, he's being victimized, that kind of thing, woe is me. Which is funny because in his first appearance, if you've ever read the classic Fantastic Four issue 52 and 53, where they where he is first appeared, Stan Lee did an excellent job. he did an excellent job in that, and it was not that at all. In fact, he right off the bat, you got a chance to see that Wakanda is actually in Africa, and it's futuristic. It's actually ahead of us in the United States.
Yeah.
You know, and you have Reed Richards, and at the time, the Fantastic Four was the top-selling book at Marvel. So to have that vehicle to premiere their first black character was amazing and superbly done. And I do give Stan Lee credit for that. But back to the movie, it was one of those where I was kind of hesitant because I'm sick of that whole trope of victimization. I'm not a victim. I'm a grown man. I stand on my own morals. I hold myself accountable. That, you know, that whole woe is me stuff just doesn't work for me. So it took me a while, but once I actually saw it and I saw how Chadwick Boseman played him, he played him with such dignity. Little did we know that he was sick. He was battling. He was battling then, but you didn't see it because he embodied that character so well. And it was great because I was reading something that said that there was a discussion about his accent, what he was going to do, because typically educated Africans either have will typically have like a British accent or they will have, you know, something like that. And so I think there was a discussion at some point where they were actually throwing that around where he was actually going to have an English accent. He was like, no, I want to have a African accent because for what a lot of people don't know is in certain, I believe it's the Ultimate Universe. He's a scientist, and you see more of the science nature of him in that world because he's actually equal to, or if not better than Reed Richards in terms of intellect. A lot of people don't know that, but so knowing that, I was kind of looking for, you know, more of that. But the African accent, it was good. It was authentic. It felt very true to the character as we would probably see him if he was a real person, right? Instead of a character. And superb movie. I enjoyed it.
Uncle Nephew.
The thing I took from it when it came out is, can they pull off this story and make it a comic book movie, make it a movie, and how are they going to direct it? How is it going to, and kind of take what I thought was one of the minimal characters in the Marvel universe, which was, you know, Black Panther. Can they make this a real 2-hour long movie that everybody's going to dig? That was the thing I was worried about the most. Not that so much the victimization part of it, but can everybody dig this movie? Right. You know what I mean? There's going to be a predominantly black story. Can everybody dig it? Ryan Coogler did an excellent job just making it a movie that everybody can get behind. Oh yeah, very black, white. Yeah. It's Marvel. It's a comic book movie. There's you know, comic book things happening. It could be, you could watch every segment of this film as you're looking at panel and comic book, right? On top of it, you know, and then to assemble such a phenomenal cast around Chadwick Boseman, yet have him be the star. I mean, Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger was one of the finest performances that we've ever seen put on film. Everyone understood what they were doing here with this movie about how great it could possibly be, and they played it all to the hilt. And it's obvious when you see it. You could watch it at any point. You could start at any point during the duration of it and just watch the rest of it. For sure. Start from the beginning, middle part. It's one of those movies where it doesn't necessarily have to translate as a Marvel film or a comic book film. It translates as one of the best films that we've. That's why there was so much discussion about it during Oscar season. They're like, could this movie possibly win an Oscar? Yeah, dude. And absolutely, it's in our top 5 is one of the best Marvel movies ever done.
Oh, absolutely.
And not only did I feel a sense of pride just coming out of it, just as a black man, but I felt a sense of pride that it was just so well written, so well done. I was just like, I was so relieved. Not relieved. Look, I knew it could happen, but I was like, relieved that everyone got behind it. There wasn't this aura of controversy around it where people were going, hey, why you put this on? And you're like, blah, blah, blah. There was none of that. It was just, everyone was like, that was phenomenal. That was an awesome movie. It was undeniable. Right. And that's where I was coming from with it. I really, really loved it. Loved seeing it. I've seen it. I think I saw it 3 times in the theater. I saw it 3 times. I've seen it twice outside. You know, recently I've watched it twice.
I think that there can't be enough said about the cast.
Right.
And how
Cast
they
is
all
crazy.
how they
Cast is
all
incredible.
how they complemented each other.
Cast
I
is
mean,
incredible.
we're fast forwarding to Wakanda Forever. I mean, we're going to be right in the middle of whenever this episode actually premieres. When this show is up on YouTube, we may know the results of it. Angela Bassett is going to be nominated. She's nominated for an
Absolutely, yeah.
Oscar.
Yeah.
She was nominated for an Oscar as Tina Turner in What's Love Got to Do with It and lost. She is the favorite to win as playing Queen Ramonda in Wakanda Forever. It speaks volumes to the casting.
It's amazing.
The level of acting she puts on as the mom of the queen, you know what I mean? And especially in Wakanda Forever is just incredible. It's incredible, dude.
I think that the actors, I think that him specifically, he blew me away with just his grace and how he carried himself and knowing all of that other stuff that was going on behind the scenes. I've talked to you about it, Sonny, like early on. We were doing first episodes of Into the West.
He carried it
way
well.
back whenever. He carried it well. He carried it well. You wouldn't have known it.
No.
Right.
He
No one
was
did.
visiting kids who had cancer in the hospital.
While he was battling, doing
The same thing.
doing the hero thing, while he might have got back in the car and cried out of pain or
Oh, my God.
whatever. It struggled to get him out of the car to get there or get home, but when he got to that hospital, he was a hero.
And it was never a thing like, I happen to be sick as well.
No, man.
Right.
You never knew.
No idea.
People didn't know.
No.
There's people was like, oh, well, you've lost a lot of weight, like
Yeah.
that kind of thing. When there were people at like red carpets, it's like they're like, oh, you seem like you've lost some weight. Or you're preparing for a role, whatever. He would just switch to something else,
Yeah.
talking about the movie that he was at the premiere for.
Right.
He would completely switch gears, and it's just I can't speak enough to the class of Chadwick Boseman. I can never do it justice.
No.
To speak to the the of class of
No.
that guy. It's
So ultimately, when you saw the movie coming into it, I mean, clearly you got three of your boys here of a different color, watching the movie, feeling a certain type of way. What did you get out of it coming into it, seeing it?
I took two of my nephews. I took two of the whitest little kids that you could have seen, and when we left, they were in the hallways of the movie theater fighting each other, saying, "I'm Black Panther. I'm Killmonger."
Right.
Wow.
They're fighting each other.
Yeah.
It's to just like
Yeah.
really, you've seen
what it does.
them. They were at the movie with us.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
they're extremely pale.
Yeah.
They were. We were watching the movie, and we had an incredible time. And it was never about, like. That was there was like Uncle Frank. That was a great black movie.
No,
They never
right,
said
right,
anything.
exactly.
They're like
And those are
that-
awesome
they-
characters.
They're like 11 and
Right.
9 or something at the time, or 10 and 8 at the time or something. They're like, that movie was amazing.
Yeah.
It was just, and it's still to this day.
Every
I think.
level.
I mean, River and Valerie, you guys have to let me know. I think it's one of their favorite Marvel films.
And that speaks so many different volumes.
And
such
I
large
think the
volumes.
movie's amazing. So
That's also a shout out to Circus, Andy Circus as Ulysses Claw.
Oh, he was great too.
Awesome.
He was great.
It's just absolutely
He's awesome.
amazing what he does in this film. And I'm blanking the name.
Who? Describe them.
Lord of the Rings cat.
Oh, you're talking about Martin Freeman?
Martin Freeman.
Yeah, Martin Freeman.
Yeah.
Martin Freeman.
Yeah, the Hobbit. Yeah.
Yeah, Hobbit.
Oh, okay.
He's playing Ross.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just those two characters alone, and that's another part of it where you get to the action. It's still just a movie, not only a movie that you feel pride watching just because because Wakanda and the whole thing,
Right.
But their contributions to this film,
Right.
it really just sets you in that world.
It
completely.
really kind of throws me
Right.
off that Martin Freeman is in an American accent because
Right.
my first exposure to him was the British The Office. He was in
Right.
that 2 season with created by the incredible Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant, and just to see him, and then he goes from there to The Hobbit, and then to now the Marvel Universe, and he was in Winter Soldier. It is just like, he's incredible too. So he's been really kind of like a really key character within the Black Panther, that film. You know?
I
I know you guys will all probably agree, but Quan will agree a lot on this one. The soundtrack is
Oh, it's great.
I have it.
stupid, bro.
I have it,
Like
yeah.
just so good. And the way that Ryan Coogler was just a G at just getting all the right artists and all the right music to set the tones that you need. So we're like, this is the music you would expect to hear. Right. You know what I mean? And like, it wasn't corny. It didn't feel like it was like a one-off or forced or anything. Yeah. So just from behind the film to what we got from the cast to everybody that put it together, it just worked so well. And I think that's why the second movie was so emotional, because there were a squad, there were a family. You know what I mean? And like
very professional, very professional. You saw that.
You lose this this like leader that you are spending X amount of months or years with filming and getting to know through such tragedy.
Right.
So to me, I knew going into Wakanda Forever, I was like, I just hope it's not just like one long funeral, and like I just really hope that they do it justice. And immediately the first scene is us losing Black Panther, and I was bawling, dude. Like
that trailer,
the intro, the intro,
chills on chills.
The intro where you see the Marvel reel, and it's usually like all the characters and all the shows. It's just Chadwick Boseman and silent.
It's silent.
I already had the chills, and I was like, this is crazy.
Like this is gonna be rough.
And
that's what I was saying.
And unfortunately, you got to give people their flowers when they're alive, because all this stuff that he's done now that he's not here is just, it's crazy to see, what, the input or output rather, somebody could do from just a movie, a character, you know what I mean? So
he did a great job. I mean, overall, it's an incredible cast. It was an incredible movie, and it was kind of like peak MCU. Overall, dude, I mean,
for real, man.
It was like we were definitely on the up trajectory. I mean, as far as this movie,
dude,
Civil War. I mean, it was.
Yeah. It really does show. Like I hate to say it. Like are we? Is the candle burning out? You know what I mean? Like we can't be running out of ideas, right? Like there's got to, because
there's tons of source material.
How heartfelt, and good and just amazing this. There was no nothing, no characters coming out of
solid
space.
Story, solid acting,
it was just ground to ground, just solid. Right. So that's my fear of moving forward. Like I said it before, I think the multiverse is killing the MCU, because now there's no stakes. You're not going to bring Chadwick Boseman or another Black Panther back. You can't. No. You know what I mean? So like. That's where I'm like, all right, this is the importance. He's not here anymore. How is this movie going to move forward? And is there going to be another Black Panther or something moving forward? All these other movies, it's just like, they're going to bring someone back. He dies or she dies. They're just going to get another character or another star to get casted. Whereas I don't think anyone could come back and do those shit.
Would you want to see Michael B. Jordan be Black Panther?
I would like to see him be Black Panther as the Killmonger that he ended with Black Panther as
an arc
coming back where he's like, I'm doing this for my boy. You know,
hey
what I mean?
auntie,
like, hey auntie, an incredible character. So even when we got him back, I was really kind of hoping that maybe that's some type of route that they would go. But I think if anybody were to do it, it would have to be Michael B. Jordan, because they were boys, and I think the whole like dynamic between them, it would be almost on some like, not passing the torch, but like, I'll carry it for you. You know what I mean?
Right. Or even Jonathan Majors, because Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors, they are expected. They said in one of their interviews that they do want to collaborate more. Yeah. So they are going to probably do that. But it's funny you mentioned Michael B. Jordan, because that is the one shortcoming of this film that I did have, and that is the fact that they did kill off basically Killmonger and Claw. Yeah. They could have kept those characters alive and kept some of that story.
That's your one thing that just
Killmonger was one of the most badass villains we've gotten any of our. And hit zero powers. There's nothing. He was just like, yo, I want to get what's mine.
Clear
and
motivation.
I'm about to get this. You know what I mean?
Right. Clear motivation.
And he would be an amazing character moving forward. You know what I mean?
For what they were trying to do with him in What If. I mean, it was like, wow.
Yeah, so I think that was the one shortcoming, because in a way,
if we got MODOK, we can get Michael B. Jordan back. We can get Killmonger back.
We can
somehow.
Oh, please, yeah. Because I mean, it felt like they kind of shot themselves in the foot with that. Because,
I think so too.
Because in the comic world, right. Because in the comic world, you see Claw reappear throughout the legacy. You see Killmonger reappear throughout the legacy, and I think if depending on if they wanted to, that they should have left that door open. Maybe he could have gotten away or something. You know what I mean? So that way we can have more, probably more BP movies, in the future, leaving that open so that, we have some stakes and we have some familiarity and we can actually, because I mean, if they do if they do a Black Panther 3, it's going to be Shuri. It's going to be, what is it going to be between Shuri and Namor and their button heads, or what's happening? What's going to be 3 if they did it 3? You know what I mean?
And I do know everything has to evolve and the story does get bigger and all that kind of stuff. But now I'm like, okay, now Shuri's Black Panther. There's like a war against Atlantis, and now there's, or whatever they're called. You know what I mean? Like, it's all this far away stuff to where it's like, it almost seems like it's like the trump card. Like, you got to go so hard into this extra point of the story when like all we had to do is have like, Chadwick Boseman just talking, you know what I mean? And it just shows the level of like, you can't fill the shoes. You're not going to make it a better or cooler movie just because you're adding another character and doing all this extra stuff when, ironically, to me, the best part of the Black Panther movie was like just like the first couple minutes. You know what I mean? Like
that major scene where he's just doing what he do.
Dude, it's incredible.
Shane, do you have any final thoughts about the movie, just overall?
As far as 1 through 10, what I actually,
already. I was going to do that. I was going to do that.
Just 10, man.
10 around the board.
It was 10.
Yeah.
Emotion, story, acting,
jokes,
supporting cast.
You know what I mean? What are those? He's got the sandals on.
That's the same thing I was thinking about when you said that.
What about Homeboy from the other tribe?
Oh, M'Baku.
Yeah.
Awesome. He's an amazing character. I love his character. And I would love
the Jabari tribe.
I would have loved, and his comedic relief was amazing. He was still like strong and amazing. I would have liked to see him get the Black Panther suit over Shuri.
That would have been cool.
That would have been cool.
Sure. As like, okay,
wouldn't have been upset with any of the directions they wanted to go with. I mean, I thought it was a great tribute to him.
Yeah.
Just overall.
Shoot, she could. Angela Bassett could have got the Black Panther suit.
That'd be great.
I believe she should
have been like Storm. Should have been like.
And seeing her character reminds me of a lot of the comic book stuff where Storm and Black Panther are married.
Yeah. Right.
Storm is the queen of Wakanda. You know what I mean? And she's like incredibly strong. So I would have loved to see, like the X-Men get introduced and then we get like a Storm and a Black Panther and in some way, but I don't think we're gonna ever get that. And it would do so much less if they brought back like a form of him, you know what I mean? Right. Like that's one where I think you just got to keep it the way it is, you know what I mean?
Move forward,
Like I'm sure Tony Stark is going to come back in Secret Invasion or Secret Wars or something like that, something, but like
some capacity.
Some characters, I think he deserves his rest. You know what I mean? I don't think don't taint that. You know what I mean? So.
Guys, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you. I mean,
heck yeah.
You know that it's a big movie for all of us. It's an important movie.
Yeah, we went into the segment laughing and like now we're all bummed
out.
Yeah, like you know what I mean?
I'm not bummed out. It was a good movie.
It was a good movie.
We're gonna switch gears. Our next installment of Run It Back. We're gonna get strange. We're going to be talking about the first Doctor Strange movie with what's his name, Backpack Crample Scrunch or whatever his name is, Brenda Dirk Crample Scrunch.
Eggs Benedict.
We're going to be talking about that, guys.
Benedict
we appreciate you guys taking the time to check us out. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing. We've got content all the time. We've got stuff. Paul's there in the lab making mixing stuff up,
mixing and matching,
putting videos out all the time. But thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We do appreciate it. And next installment, Running Back, Doctor Strange with Brenda Dirk Crample Scrunch.
And the Time Stone.
And Sweet Redhead.
Oh my God, he just calls him out in every
Rachel McAdams.
Rachel McAdams.
There you go.
Bye.
Yeah.